Hi all. Welcome to the last 12th week live session of animal physiology. I am Harsha. I am one of the PhD scholar in Department of Biological Science in ISER Berambur. I am also one of the TA to the course Animal Physiology taken by Professor Manik Das. So last week was in each 5 week it was mainly a wrap up session. It was mainly about the other system that we have not yet covered. Briefly touch through the session that we are not yet covered, and we get to know little bit bit information from each system. So let me share the slide. Yeah. So I the main brief topics was lecture one was mainly about endocrine system. Lecture two was mainly about digestive system and endocrine system. Lecture three was mainly about blood, and lecture four was mainly about kidney and immune system. Lecture five was mainly about reproductive system. In the endocrine system, one lecture, sir actually started the class by showing some of the famous sports people. But all those people were has used some drugs which are banned in sports. So basically, if you are checking at those medicine, like sir specifically told about EPO or erythropoietin, which is we know it's a protein involved in the RBC formation, red blood cells formation. So if a sports person is taking that medicine just before the race or whatever the sports activity they are involved in, that means that is going to enhance the oxygen carrying capacity and all these things, especially in cycling, swimming, all these kind of things. That kind of drugs are actually banned before using sports. So if you're checking about how these drugs are, like how these hormones are released in our body, everything. So these are particles called as hormones. Mainly these are proteins. So there are different classes of these peptides, polypeptides. Then there are other than protein, there are steroids also. We can classify them into lipid soluble and non-lipid soluble hormones are there. So their basic function is to our along with the neural system and immune system, endocrinal system is also that much important that has to actively participate in a lot of body activities. And we not only have one or two glands, we have different types of endocrine glands, and sir showed us a picture also what are the different endocrine glands that is present in our body, starting with main in the hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid, pineal gland, then adrenal gland. In sex organ, there is male and female specific sex hormone producing glands are there. So there are a lot of glands that is present in different parts of the body and they do different functions also. Like that, sir told us about the thyroid, importance of thyroid producing thyroid hormone or T4 or T3, which is produced from thyroid. But in order to release of thyroid hormone, there should be a hormone that should trigger from hypothalamus. So that is thyroid really stimulating hormone, which will go and tell pituitary. So in the pituitary, if you are checking, we can see posterior and anterior pituitary. In anterior pituitary, there we can see thyroid releasing hormone, and that will go and act upon thyroid and tell the T4, T3 to release depending on the condition. So if thyroid and T4, T3 is constituted by mainly iodine, and if iodine is not there, Then that can also leads to thyroid dysfunction, so which is a condition known as goiter. So all this discussed in the first class. Second class was mainly again the continuation of endocrine system. So these are the different parts, like there are different types of glands, and among that, we discussed what are the like just goiter, and if thyroid is increased also, that is also a problem. That condition is known as hyperthyroidism. Then adrenal gland is another type of endocrine gland, and adrenal has two parts, cortex and medulla. Cortex can secrete three types of hormone, include glucocorticoid, mineral corticoid, and sex hormone. Glucocorticoids are involved in the activities related with glucose level maintenance in our body. So they mainly release for raising our blood glucose level upon the activation whenever it is needed. Mineralocorticoids are regulated low blood glucose level. And sex hormones are also told about. There are very less information know about, since we have different glands and we know the roles of gland specific sex hormones. But what is the role of sex hormone in adrenal cortex is very little information is known. Then in the medulla, we can see mainly two hormones, which are adrenaline and noradrenaline, which are the hormones that regulate sympathetic and parasympathetic system, or fear or fight fright syndrome, or which are involved in regulation of sympathetic nervous system. Then if we are looking at digestive system in our body, we know starting with mouth, we eat food through our mouth, which there are some enzymes that can start the digestion from mouth itself. So the salivary glands are there. So saliva moistens and lubricate food. Then there is amylase is there, which so carbohydrate digestion basically starts in the mouth itself. Then there is pharynx, which helps in swallowing. Then it will go through esophagus. So there is a particular movement through the esophagus. That movement is known as peristalsis. It will lead to stomach. In stomach, there are different types of hormones. HCl is there, which helps in the regulation of pH, and also mucus protects from the HCl action, because HCl is 2 hydrochloric acid, right? So the lining should be covered. So mucus helps in that role. Then there are also some enzymes like pepsin and all are there. So liver is also one of the gland that is contain bile, which helps in the digestion of fat. Then it can also store some of the important vitamins and iron. Also, it has some another important functions, like it can destroys all the blood cells, and that's why whenever we like alcohol taking person, if they are continuously taking, their liver is first the organ which get like if liver failure is there, then that's it, because liver is the part which filters this high kind of poisons. So that's why liver is getting first affected, because that is the part taking care of the poison filtering activity. So bile is produced from liver, and bile helps in digestion process. Then there is below bile, we can see gallbladder. You must have heard about gallbladder stones. So gallbladder actually stores and concentrate the bile. Liver produces bile, but bile is getting stored in gallbladder. Then in pancreas also regulate, like pancreas regulate release lot of important hormones. Most of the for carbohydrate digestion, protein digestion, everything we can see a variety of like digestive hormones there, digestive enzymes there. Then in the small intestines also, there are particular peptidase, sucrase, amylase, all these are there, and they digest proteins, sugars, and carbohydrates or polysaccharides. So then finally in large intestines, so the final converted, digested and waste products will come through the large intestine, and it will go to rectum and get stored in the fecuses are stored in the there, and then whenever is our bowel movement controlling is there, so whenever it's then it can be excreted through there. Okay, so that is, and then sir also mentioned about pancreas. We told about the digestive activity of pancreas here. So it does not have a not only pancreatic activity, it has other type of cells called islets of Langerhans, where it can produce endocrinal hormonal like insulin, glucagon, etc. Insulin helps in reducing the sugar level. Glucagon helps in increasing the sugar level. So, and there is a condition known as diabetic mellitus, which is the inability of our body to maintain the correct blood glucose level. There is type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is the like it's mainly the body cannot synthesize any hormone for regulating that thing. In type 2 is mainly it's a lifestyle disorder getting affected, or it's due to the when we become obese and all, there is higher risk of getting a glucose. Like we can check insulin resistance. That condition is known as. So insulin resistance is one of the leading cause of type 2 characteristics of type 2 diabetes. It's a precondition. It's a pre-diabetic condition. So insulin resistance or insulin is not produced. So that's not in a like condition that is pre-existed. It is can occur as a result of lifestyle changes and all. So that is about diabetic mellitus and other. I'm not going through each gland and specific function. When we discuss the questions, also we will get to listen to some of the other part. But please, I am requesting to go and listen to the classes again, because these 5 weeks there were a lot of informations are taught through the slides. So please refer back to that. Then third week was mainly about the blood. We have seen multiple classes also what is blood. So blood has mainly two components. You can see when we centrifuge the blood, we will get a slight yellowish or orange color portion like this is a supernatant, which is called as plasma. It's a pale yellow liquid portion. And niche or 45% of the blood will constitute of blood cells. They will centrifuge down, so that mainly consists of erythrocytes or RBCs. Then there is WBCs. RBC stands for red blood cell, WBC, white blood cells, and platelets are there. So in between we can see a Buffy coat. Then apheresis is what is the process of apheresis are told us. Apheresis, and there are different types of apheresis also. So what is apheresis? It's like the blood filtration artificial unit. Blood is drawn, then blood is separated into components by centrifuge. Needed components are collected into sterile bags, and unused components we can be returned to the donor. So it's that separation of blood components is known as apheresis. Um, then there are different types also. So in one of the slide, he is mentioning, I think 5 types, subtypes are there. Please go and refer back to that. Then biomarkers about bone marrow is the place where all these most of the blood cells are produced. There are blood thinners, which helps if some people have blood is not getting clotted. For example, the people who has problem with sugar and all has this problem, the lot of blood will get loose in that so the blood thinners are available. And fetal versus adult hemoglobin, obviously there is a different like in the fetal hemoglobin, we when we discussed about the length portion, you remember, like RBCs are not like all types of cell. In the younger or in the fetal cells, as it was, but then evolutionary, they will adapt to a condition like they can carry more oxygen. They will hemoglobin will come and bind, take the entire space inside them. So even RBC doesn't contain any nucleus also. So the fetal Yeah, so the oxygen carrying capacity, or if you're checking the chart, there is difference between fetal red blood cells and maternal red blood cells. Then sickle cell anemia is a condition where the RBC shape get um sickle shape, or it's not correct round and it does not carry the enough amount of oxygen. It's a genetic disorder. It's due to a the three amino acid letter code will change into something else. So due to that mutation, it will entirely produce a different totally amino acid, and that will make RBC sickle shaped. So then about kidney and immune system, I'm a person who my research and our lab mainly checks into the genetic activities that is controlling the RNP regulations in kidney. So kidney is one of my research interests also. So kidneys are two bean shaped organ. They are locating so on kidneys. If you are looking inside a kidney, we can see two parts, cortex and medulla are clearly explained all these things. And in if we are again looking into the medulla part, we can see a lot of so what is the functional unit of kidney? If that is the question, there is lot of nephron. You can see there are millions of nephrons in single kidney, and these nephrons have different parts, starting with the cup-like Bowman's capsule portion is there, leading to the tubular portion. So the we learned about heart where the blood is getting filtered, and the decarbon dioxide like carbon dioxide is removed and oxygen is filling, that purification is process is happening in heart. But in kidney, this is another kind of filtration. For example, still if our blood contain lot of unwanted substances like urea kind of things, so it's inevitable to remove that. So that kind of filtration is done in the kidney. And there are different types of cell type present. I think almost more than 27, around 30 types of cells are present in kidney cell type. Then Sir also mentioned about kidney as the endocrine system. Kidney produces renin and erythropoietin. Erythropoietin is a hormone produced from kidney that helps in the RBC formation. EPO, erythropoietin, also mainly used as EPO. And then the second one is renin. Renin helps in the blood pressure maintenance. So renin, there is a well coordinated system known as renin angiotensin system, angiotensin aldosterone system. So renin is the hormone released from kidney. Angiotensinogen we can see in liver. So renin go and convert angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1, which will activated by ACE to make it angiotensinogen 2, finally releases aldosterone system. So thus that will regulate the blood pressure. Then finally, in the fourth class, it was mainly about the types of immunity. There are two types of immunity: innate and adaptive immunity. Innate immunity is the immunity that is present at the time of birth itself. It's the first control, first line of defense. So whenever there is some kind of anything is coming into our body and all, there are mechanisms or systems in our body to prevent the entry of the microbes into our, or for any kind of foreign body into our foreign bodies inside our body. So that kind of first line of defense is innate immunity. There are a lot of different types of subtypes are there. I'm not going into detail. And adaptive immunity is the immunity that is like mainly regulated by our T cells and B cells of lymphocyte cells. And they like for example, have you heard about antibodies and all these things are produced from these, and they are the second class. For example, the again in the adaptive immunities there is two subtypes: humoral immunity and CMI and HMI. So I'm not going into detail, just know that so T cells and B cells are there and adaptive immunity is regulated through them. For example, if you have met exposure to some once upon a time to chicken pox, then people say that it is very less chance that the second time to occur, but this time some variant is getting mutated and they can get, like, we can get exposed to again to them. But why it is generally said so, if the virus or is not mutated and they are staying like that in the first exposure itself, some memory against that antigen or attack is already created in the form of antibody. So that antibodies are already stored there, and we know that their antibodies are there. So that antibodies can, whenever next exposure to chickenpox or something, these same antibodies already created can go and kill because they are already there. So go and kill the antigen. That's why it said that once a chickenpox exposure is there, second time it cannot get usually if the virus is mutated, and then they can escape the immunity system that is developed in our body. That's a different case. So that are all due to the these antibodies produced in our body, which is a part of adaptive immunity. And talking, there is different types of cells. So there is a juxtaglomerular apparatus present in this part, and there are, we can see there are a lot of types of cells present there, mainly five cells: macula densa, juxtaglomerular, granular epithelial cells, which are the renin secreting cells. These are the parietal epithelial cells which secrete renin, which is involved in the blood pressure regulation. Then there is vascular smooth muscle cells, mesangial cells, endothelial cells. So you can see ECs, endothelial, vascular, smooth muscles, renin secreting cells, all these are there. Then so this is the JGA system, which is a system that activate coordinatedly for the blood pressure regulation. So that is about kidney and immune system. And if you are looking at the final fifth lecture of the 12th week or last week of the session, it was mainly about reproductive system. So there are different reproductive system present in males and females, and Sarah detailedly told about the structure, how they are varies, and what are the endocrinal functions of each gland, and how the all the testes and ovaries function, in testes how the sperm is getting formed, and then about the male hormones, testosterone, etc. And then in the female reproductive system there are different types of hormones, and there are two ovaries which can produce some types of endocrinal hormones there also. And in males it's like it's entirely different. They can produce sperms after their puberty at like anytime, but in females it's a cyclic event. So there are two important hormones, estrogen, progesterone. Other than LH, FSH, lot of hormones are there, each with specific function. So that's why cyclicity is important in females. So it's like a 28 days average cycle is there, and in that once a time egg is getting released. And about menstruation, and sir also showed a chart where the which hormone is getting activated at what phase. So then sir also mentioned about two contraceptive drugs that is prevalent. So these are about the I was telling about the brief ideas that we went through each class. So I am again suggesting, please go back and listen to the classes if you have not listened. So now we will go and discuss the question. If you know the answer, please type in the chat box. Then we'll discuss. Then we'll go ahead to the next question and solve the next question. Okay. So first question. Hi. What is your name? Hi, Rani. Uh, yeah. So I was just telling about the brief introduction about all the 5 weeks, starting from week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. Now am going ahead with each question. So if you know the answer of the question, then you can type in the chat box. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that you can text to the NPTEL team where like they send the daily mails. No, to them you can. Okay, you are not writing the exam. Okay. I think for so that's what I don't know about the technical details. So you have to ask to them the NPTEL team. Okay, okay. Please ask them. Send a mail, they will reply. I think there was a specific deadline for the payment of the fees and all. I'm not sure when is still that deadline. So please ask, send them a mail and they will reply. Yeah. I also don't know when is the registration deadline, but there is some. You can go back and check the mail. I think they can. Which one? August 22 was the deadline. Okay. Yes. October 26 is the date that I know. Uh, yeah. That's right. I don't know. I'm just a like TA for the course. So the technical details of exam and all we don't have any. Yeah, I understand. So that's what I said. If you want to know any technical details of exam, will you able to, is it fine of two assignment and all, please text a mail to them. Yeah, because I also have no aware of what are the technical details of exam and all. Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah. So erythropoietin is a dash that is produced in dash. Option A, red blood cells. It's produced in heart. Option B, hormone. It's produced in kidneys. Option C, it's red blood cell produced in lungs. Option D, hormone. It's produced in brain. Simple question. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct answer. Yeah, yeah, yes. So it's a EPO or erythropoietin is a endogenous. It's a glycoprotein hormone and it's produced by the peritubular cells of the kidney. That's why we cells that in juxtaglomerular apparatus you can see renin secreting cells, RSC which is a part of among the five cells. So these peritubular cells of kidney secrete renin which helps in the sorry that is about renin and we are talking about erythropoietin. So erythropoietin is secreted from peritubular cells. And renin is one of the another hormone that is produced from same from kidney. Yeah. So this was the slides sir gave in for this portion. So if you are going and referring back to the lecture, you can see this slide. So what is the cyclic activity? So whenever a stimulus occur or for example reduced oxygen carrying capacity condition is there. For example, people climbing up a high mountain and all such kind of condition, kidney releases more erythropoietin, so which leads to the development of erythrocytes in red bone marrow. They can synthesize red blood cells and that will leads to increased oxygen carrying capacity. So finally to the homeostasis. Uh, you can actually type it in the chat box. Then I will give, after reading a question, I will actually give 1 minute. So in that time, you can think and answer it in the chat box. Okay, you don't have to tell. Then after that, we can discuss. That I am, I am sorry, I also don't know. You have to ask them. I actually every time there is like you have to attempt all the assignment. Then they say the deadline. Huh? Okay. Yeah, that's what I said. You can send a mail to the people, uh, to the NPTEL people, then they can only. You are getting no every time the classes are released, the assignment is there. No, no. You will get daily information. No, how you are getting the class link? That is through mail communication only, right? So in that mail, you ask them. You send a reply mail asking that I have only submitted two assignment. I was unaware of the exam deadline date. Is it possible I can write the exam? So you ask them. I don't also have the contact details. I'm only a TA for the course. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know about technical details. So please ask them. Yeah. This is a like TA session means we are just discussing and solving some questions. That's it. I don't have any other duties. Yeah. So, tamoxifen, a dopant band in sports, is mainly a dash and is used commonly in the treatment of dash. Option A, pregnancy inducer. It's in ALS. Option B, it's a estrogen modulator. It is used in again in ALS. Option C, it's a pregnancy inducer. It's used in breast cancer. Option D is a estrogen modulator. It is used in breast cancer. So it's a banned drug in sports. The question is about what we generally use it for. You can type it in the chat box. Chat box, chat box. There is a message option, no? No, no, it's fine. You can say, then I will give you 1 minute. In that, you can say at 6:40, we'll discuss the answer. Okay. So, where are you studying? Where is this? Okay, I am in Aisar Berambur only. Yeah. I am not from Odisha, but I am from Kerala, but I do my PhD in Aisar Berambur. Okay, okay. So correct answer is yes, D is the correct answer. It's generally a mainly a estrogen modulator and is used commonly in the treatments of cancer, especially in breast cancer. Yes, it's correct. So it's a selective estrogen receptor modulator. It's a SCRM, the term that is used. Uh, it is used to regulate or treat the breast cancer in men and women as a prophylactic agent against breast cancer in women. So DASH is used to increase milk production in cattle. Option A serotonin, option B oxytocin, option C GABA, option D glutamate. Hmm. Okay. So I'll discuss the answer 6:42. Till then you can think. No, no, I said I will discuss the answer after 1 minute. So it's generally I have to upload this lecture live session in the YouTube. So for that, like there people will be seeing. That's why after reading a question, we'll give 1 minute and so that they can solve the answer. Then I will discuss the answer. Yeah. Okay. So you are saying serotonin. Okay. Yeah. So it's 6:42. No, both are wrong. Actually, the correct answer is oxytocin. So, yeah. So there are two hormones involved for along with the milk production. Actually, milk production is mainly done by prolactin, but oxytocin is the hormone that helps make sure that it is getting At the correct time, it is let downing milk is getting injected. That is making sure by oxytocin. So and in cattle also there is a condition of agalactia, which means that cattle is unable to synthesize milk. So, in order to facilitate the milk production, they use oxytocin as a treatment option. So usually this condition occur in cows as a whenever there is a infection or inflammation of mammary glands occur in cows. So that they give oxytocin to cows. Dash is a chain of 2 to 50 amino acids. Option A aggregate, option B agar, option C peptide, option D proteome. Okay, it's a very simple question. Still, I am giving 6:43. So at 6:44, we'll discuss the answer. Agar, sure. You said D, C, then D, then B, then A. Correct answer is C. So after 50 amino acid, if it's a 51 amino acid onwards, then we call it as a protein. So what is the protein is a polymer, right? What is the each unit? That is amino acid, and if amino acid club together, then that chain is known as peptide chain, polypeptide. That's why protein is known as polypeptide, right? So a correct answer is peptide. 2 to 50. That's why they mentioned 2 to 50. If it's more than 50, then it's a protein. Do you know what is the yeah, more than 50 amino acid, then it will be protein. Less than 50, it will be peptide. We cannot say it as a protein. So do you know what is the protein which contain 51 amino acid? That is the one of the protein that first identified also. Okay, find it out. Okay, what is the protein that is containing 51 amino acid? It's one of the important thing that we learned in the last week also. Like it's a very hormone basically. So for here the answer is C, peptide. Okay. Next question. Renin and angiotensin are produced by dash. Pituitary gland, kidneys, pancreas, or ovaries. What is the correct answer? Hmm. This we discussed in one of the previous one. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. It's 6:46. So at 6:47 we'll discuss. Okay, you are saying kidney. It's fine. Have you came to Aisar Berambur someday? Have you visited Aisar Berambur? When? No, no. Like, did you come inside for seeing some labs, or there are a lot of outreach activities we do for outside students can come and see the labs, see the research activities and all. So, have you anytime came here? You are in MSc, right? You are in BSc or MSc? Okay, MSc. MSc Biotechnology, Geo, Zoology. Okay, okay. So correct answer is kidney only. Renin and angiotensin are produced by kidneys. What is the what is the function? Do you know what is the function of renin and angiotensin? Renin and angiotensin. It's for the blood pressure regulation. So renin is acting upon angiotensinogen, which is a pigment that is stored in liver, that will convert angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1, and that will again act on angiotensin. We will get converted to angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2 will go and act on aldosterone. So aldosterone will regulate the blood pressure. So this is the system. So kidney producing renin. Whenever there is decrease in any kind of perfusion, then JGA releases renin, or renin secreting cells release renin, that will convert angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1, which will again get acted upon by ACE factor, that will convert angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. So that will do all this function. It will release aldosterone, then it will make sure tubular sodium chloride absorption and potassium excretion from kidney, arteriolar vasoconstriction they will check on. They will also check on ADH secretion. ADH is the vasopressin secretion. So all kind of homeostasis maintenance is regulated like that. That is why it is known as RAA system, renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. So water and salt retention or pressure maintenance is one of the main function. Thyrotropin releasing hormone TRH from the dash. Thyroid stimulating hormone TSH from the dash and T4 from the dash work together to maintain homeostasis. So simply question is, these are three different types of hormones and where these three are produced. First is TRH or thyrotropin releasing hormone is produced in dash gland. TSH is produced in dash gland, and finally T4 is produced from dash gland. Option A, hypothalamus, pituitary and thyroid. Option B, pituitary, thyroid and hypothalamus. Option C, thyroid, hypothalamus and thyroid. Option D, pituitary, hypothalamus and thyroid. Sure. Hmm. Very good. Correct answer only. Correct answer is option A only. So whenever there is T4 required in that condition, first from hypothalamus produce TRH, which will go and act on anterior pituitary to make sure the release of TSH is happening, thyroid stimulating hormone. That will lead to the release of T4 from the thyroid gland. So other than T4, there is one another hormone in thyroid, that is triiodothyronine or T3. Yeah, this everything is getting activated by TSH, then TRH on TSH, then T4 and T3. That's how it's maintaining proper feedback. Iodine deficiency leads to DASH that primarily affect the DASH. Option A, goiter, adrenal gland. Option B, scurry, adrenal gland. Option C, goiter, thyroid gland. Option D, scurvy, thyroid gland. Iodine deficiency. Its question is about iodine deficiency. Leads to DASH. Leads to what kind of disorder? Okay. Yeah, that is the correct answer. Iodine deficiency leads to goiter, which primarily affected the. Yes, correct. So iodine is essentially why it is affecting thyroid gland, because iodine is the main one of the main element required for the production of both T3 and T4 hormone. So decreased iodine means iodine deficiency is there. So that means enough T3 and T4 cannot be synthesized, which will lead to cretinism, goiter, myxedema, coma, and hypothyroidism. So all these types of condition can get occur from deficiency of iodine. The parietal cells secrete dash and gastric chief cells secrete dash that is further converted into dash. This is about digestive system. So they are asking about these cells produce what kind of enzymes, which is getting converted into what? Option A, HCl, pepsin, pepsinogen. Option B, pepsinogen, HCl, pepsin. Option C, pepsin, pepsinogen, HCl. Option D, HCl, pepsinogen, pepsin. Sure. So any name NOGEN. You remember, right, when we talked about renin-angiotensinogen. So anything ending with NOGEN, that is an inactive enzyme. So when it getting activated, that OGEN word won't be there. That's why renin acted on angiotensinogen to make it angiotensin. So I was telling a clue. So parietal cells secrete, you are saying HCl, but you are confused with A and B. I said ending with OGEN is inactive enzyme. So then gastric cell is producing, that is converted into dash, they are saying. So yeah, that's what I said. Because that is inactive, right? Inactive, then getting converted into something active. Because finally it should be in the active form. Then only protein digestion can occur. So correct answer is parietal cells secrete HCl, gastric chief cells secrete pepsinogen. Further, it will converted into pepsin. Ah, yeah. Okay. So that's why it's called anything ending with OGN, that is inactive zymogen called pepsin. And so when gastric chief cells secrete, so pepsinogen will converted into active form pepsin. And then parietal cells within the stomach lining. Huh? Okay, I'll write it here. So you have seen this word, right? So pepsin plus OGEN. OGEN means that is denoting this is inactive. So inactive things has to be converted into active state. So that's why the question I was saying clue. So the inactive form is secreted from the gastric chief cells. Whenever it is required, it will get converted to the active form, which is known as pepsin. Hmm. Dash emulsifies fat for digestion and dash that controls blood sugar. Option A bile bilirubin, option B bilirubin insulin, option C erythropoietin insulin, option D bile insulin. Any idea? Yeah, that is the correct answer. Bile emulsifies, fat for digestion, and insulin controls blood sugar. Yeah, correct answer is B. I don't have to explain, right? It's a simple answer. Bile emulsifies, direct question. Bile emulsifies fat and insulin. Yeah. Insulin reduces blood sugar whenever the blood sugar in our body is elevated after maybe after having food. That's why in diabetic mellitus condition, whoever having diabetic issue, they will check pre-meal and post-meal because insulin's activity will be different and the blood sugar level will be varied. If insulin acts on sugar, then insulin acting means insulin should reduce the blood sugar level. Insulin will act and make sure blood sugar is reduced. But in diabetic people, insulin is not there in some condition. So they doesn't have the enzyme to reduce the sugar. That's why some people take, for example, my mother is diabetic, so she has to take the insulin from insulin as a hormone. She has to inject. So they have to take insulin containing tablets or insulin from outside. Then only their glucose will be regulated. So insulin reduces glucose. Is it recommended to avoid aspirin in case of injury causing cuts because option A it's an antibiotic and causes infection. Option B it's an anticoagulant and will lead to blood loss at the site of injury. Option C it has effect on heart and will decrease blood pressure. Option D it will cause atherosclerosis. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that is the correct answer. Aspirin is basically an anticoagulant. So if you are taking at the time of injury, then that means the blood is not going to get clotted. Blood loss keep on happening. So that's a very serious issue. So that's why people say not to take aspirin if you have a cut or something. Uh, so other than aspirin, there are such other anticoagulants also, such as heparin, warfarin. All these things slows down your body's process of blood clotting. So bleeding is one of the most side effect of blood thinners. Which of this is not a part of testis? Option A epididymis, option B tunica vaginalis, option C ductus deferens, option D endometrium. One of this is not a part of testis. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Now only two options left. So this is just I'm helping to solve the assignment. There is a lot of different assignment questions in the every week. So you have to go and you can try with the 12th week assignment and you send that mail to the NPTL team asking for the exam facility. Correct answer is endometrium. Endometrium is a part of female reproductive system. You can see here. This is testis structure. So you can see all other things. Epididymis, ductus deferens, ductus epididymis here, tunica vaginalis. Not endometrium is here because endometrium is part of a female reproductive system. Which of these is not a part of female reproductive system? Option A, fallopian tube. Option B, fimbriae. Option C, uterine fungus. Option D, cervix. This is regarding female reproductive system. Which of these is not a part? Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that is the correct answer. I'll show the figure. So I know the figure is clear because I have taken it from SARS class, SARS slide screenshot only. So you can see three-layer perimetrium, endometrium, myometrium. This endometrium was the option in the earlier question, which was they were asking, is it a part of testis? No, it's a part of female reproductive system. So this is the endometrium is the lining that get in the menstrual phase every time the that lining get degraded and every month it's getting the rebuilding of that lining is taking place. Then other structures are there. We can see fallopian tube, here fallopian tube, fimbriae, here fimbriae. Cervix is also here. This is cervix. But there is no uterine fungus. Mhm. So uterine fungus is not a part of. Which of the following is a germ cell? Hepatocytes, neurons, sperm, cardiomyocytes. Germ cell. Which is the germ cell? Germ cell means any cells that is haploid cells which are only haploid division occurs in our body for like it's only present in the reproductive system, right? To maintain the continuity of the ploidy in our or in all the animals. So germ cell is a reproductive cell, like reproductive related part. So what is the correct answer? Huh? Okay. That is the correct answer. Sperm is the germ cell, right? Ah, yeah. Gonads and ovaries in female and in testis in males. Mm. So sperms in males and egg in ovum in female. Yeah. So what is germ cell? Germ cell is any cell that give rise to organism. Gametes of an organism that produce sexually. Zona pellucida is present on dash. Option A, blastocyst. Option B, oocytes. Option C, ovarian follicles. Option D, sperm. Zona pellucida. Sure? Hmm. Yeah, that is the correct answer. Zona pellucida is the layer that is outer layer that is present in oocytes. I can show the figure here. So here you can see the oocyte. Let me take the pointer. You cannot see, right? I'll use the pointer. So this one, this is the oocyte, and this layer is the zona pellucida. Mm. So next question. For the occurrence of menstruation, progesterone levels and estrogen levels should dash. Both increase, increase, decrease, decrease, increase, decrease, decrease. So for the sure, sure, how much percentage sure? Okay. So both should actually decrease during menstruation. Option D is the correct one. We can see in menstruation. So you can see menstruation phase days 1, 2, 3 to 4, right? Here, estrogen is labeled in red and progesterone is labeled in green. So here you can see very less levels are there, right? In menstrual, progesterone and estrogen is decreased during menstruation. You can see, right, the red and green. Is it high or less here? Red is estrogen, green is progesterone. So it's decreased, right? Uh, in menstruation. Yes. Now this is again the question about same progesterone and estrogen only. So that peak was higher, like the leveling up no sometimes based on that. Progesterone level reach its maximum dash and estrogen level reach its maximum dash. Both before ovulation, second option before ovulation and after ovulation and before ovulation, after both occur reach its peak activity after ovulation. What is the correct answer? Okay. Estrogen, after ovulation. Option B you are saying. B you are saying. But you said progesterone D. D. The first part is correct. Progesterone level reaches after ovulation because it is generally known as pregnancy hormones. If the egg is not met with sperm, then it's a phase that is for pregnancy. If in a pregnant woman, the progesterone should be maintained throughout the pregnancy. So it should acting up after the ovulation only. But estrogen is a hormone that reaches its maximum before ovulation. Then only ovulation will occur. So correct answer is uh, C. C. Yeah. Now you can see here, right? Estrogen is the red color when it is reaching maximum. What is this phase? No, in the ovulation, I am asking about the 14th day ovulation period. Red is maximum, right? Uh, so estrogen is maximum and progesterone is starting increasing after along 18 to 24, 25 days. We can see progesterone is maximum. So estrogen is reaching maximum before ovulation and progesterone is reaching maximum after ovulation. Yeah. Next is a very simple question. The basic functional unit of kidney is dash. Option A neuron, option B nephron, option C Bowman's capsule, option D glomerulus. Sure, sure. Yeah, correct answer is B nephrons. Nephrons are the functional unit of kidney. Bowman's capsule and glomerulus are part of nephron. Okay. Yeah. In each kidney, there are millions of nephrons. You can see. This is the structure of a nephron. This is the total nephron. This is the Bowman's capsule. This is the glomerulus, which is a fine capillaries of blood vessels. And the Bowman's capsule leading to the tubular part, which consists of PCT. PCT will leads to Henle's loop. Henle's loop will leads to DCT. DCT will leads to collecting duct. This is a complete nephron. Which of the longest part of sperm among the option? Option A head, option B neck, option C tail, option D all are of equal length. Yeah, correct answer. Tail is the longest part of. Mm, yeah, here you can see. So this is the tail and tail is the longest part. That's why they are able to swim from this long distance. I said this. This is the tail. Mm. Which of the following statement is true? Option A, most sperm cells do not have any centrioles. Option B, centrioles in sperm cells can move across head, neck and tail. Option C, sperm cells have centrioles in tail. Option D, sperm cells have centriole in sperm neck. What is centriole? Hmm. Correct answer is option D. Okay. D. Here you can see the midpiece, right? Mitochondria is there and centriole is there. Did you see? Ah, so it's present in the midpiece or neck. Mm. Now I'll show a video. This is the like a conclusory video that is we started with integumentary system in the class, then we went ahead to skeletal system, so how the skeletal muscle activity, sliding filament theory. Then in the next class about sliding filament theory in detail. Then in the week 4, it was started with the nervous system, how skeletal muscle active in coordination with nervous system, the structure of neurons, what are the how they are excitable cells, how they are exciting, how they are making able to produce action potential, then action potential across transmitted. Then there are a lot of big class about nervous system, starting with how the what are the receptors present, how they are able to perform, what are the function of glial cells, then what are the different types of disorders associated with nervous, especially neurodegenerative disorder. Then finally going ahead with what are the special senses, eye, vision, hearing, all these things we have seen. Then moving ahead to circulatory system, blood and heart. Then after circulatory system, we saw the class like mainly about how the heart is functioning, the blood purification, what are the chambers of heart, how the total process is happening. Then in the final class, mainly and after circulatory, we have seen the lungs, respiratory system, and after respiratory system, in the final class, we have seen the digestive little bit about all the reproductive, endocrine, digestive systems. So this is a video. Yeah, so that was the recap of all the things that we have learned in till now. It's a main conclusion we can say. We have started with integumentary system. We have learned about lot of organ system, different types of our organ system. Remember, the class started with to know our body more. Now we know all these things about our body. So yeah, please go back, refer lectures, and see the videos, classes, and try to solve the assignment solution. Everything will help you to get to understand about all this organ system. So last part, there are some questions. So I'll pause that time. Then 1 minute. Yeah. First question: which system filters blood and produces urine? Option A, urinary system. Option B, digestive system. Option C, reproductive system. Which is the system? Urine producing. Urine. Option A. Next question. Which system consists of the brain, spinal cord, and nerves? Very good. What is the role of excretory system? Hmm. To produce urine is urinary system, right? It's different. Digest food, digestive system. Good. That is the skin outer layer. That is that we discussed today, no? The class, everything, all the glands. This, Mhm. Yeah, that's. So let's see some of the more question. Which of these hormone is not related to stress? Option A, adrenaline. Option B, cortisol. Option C, catecholamines. Option D, glycine. Not related to stress. Not related to stress. What is the correct answer? Sure. Correct answer is glycine. Glycine is the amino acid. Okay. Glycine is a one of the amino acid. All the other three are hormones that is produced in response to stress only. Oh, sorry. This is glycine one. That's my mistake. Correct answer is 4 only. Okay. Glycine is not a part of stress response. all the other three. For example, adrenaline is a hormone released by adrenal glands during the fight or flight response. Cortisol is cortisol's name itself is a stress hormone. So that increases sugar in bloodstream and helps controls body's response to stress. Catecholamine, yes, glycine is the right answer. Means glycine is not a but glycine is just an amino acid that does not have to do anything with the stress. No, glycine is an amino acid. All the other three are released during stress. Glycine is just an amino acid. Ah, yes. Catecholamines are part of neurohormones that include adrenaline and norepinephrine, which are central to body's reaction to physical and emotional stress. Glycine is inhibitory, is an amino acid that function primarily as an inhibitory neurotransmitter also in the central nervous system, producing a calming effect. So it's a neurotransmitter. It has a neurotransmitter role, not any other. While it can help body cope up with stress by promoting relaxation and sleep, it is not a stress initiating hormone. Which hormone involve? Answer is there. Which hormone is involved in secretion of milk? We discussed the same question. We discussed the same question in cow just a little bit time ago. What was the answer? Ah, what is melatonin? What is the function of melatonin? Ah, melatonin is the our durational, whatever the cycle, we are waking up at this time. Next time also, if we wake up daily at this time, we automatically wake up at that time, right? So our day, night, all these cycles are controlled and regulated by the activity of melatonin. Growth hormone is a huh. So milk ejecting hormone is oxytocin. Oxytocin has two functions. One is milk rejection reflex or let down reflex. When an infant suckles at the breast, nerve impulses travel to mother's brain, triggering the release of oxytocin from the posterior to pituitary gland. Contraction of myoepithelial cells. Oxytocin causes the myoepithelial cells surrounding the milk producing alveoli in the breast to contract. This forces milk from alveoli down the milk ducts and out through the nipple. Yeah. So it's a milk ejecting. It's making sure that milk is getting ejected or secreted. Deficiency of which of these elements cause issues with thyroid gland? Sodium, iodine, that we discussed here, right? No explanation required. Huh. If we don't have iodine, then our body won't be able to produce properly, which will lead to condition like hypothyroidism and goiter kind of condition. Islets of Langerhans are responsible for secretion of insulin, secretion of bile juice, secretion of HCl, secretion of growth hormone. Very good. Where we can see islets of Langerhans? Where? These are which gland? There are pancreas. Pancreas has dual role, both digestive role as well as endocrine function. So the endocrine gland forms the insulin, glucagon, etc. from pancreas. So islets of Langerhans can be seen in pancreas. And there are different types of cells. Beta cells produces insulin, which lowers blood glucose. Alpha cells produce glucagon, which raises blood glucose. Delta cells secrete somatostatin or growth hormone, which help regulate endocrine system by inhibiting the secretion of both insulin and glucagon. Pancreatic polypeptide cells secrete pancreatic polypeptide, which control pancreatic secretion. Parietal cells are present in dash, bile juice, liver, insulin, stomach. Parietal cells are present in stomach. You remember when we asked about HCl, in order to protect from HCl activity. Remember, HCl is produced from dash and bile is produced from dash. There was a question earlier. So parietal cells are present in stomach. The other name of parietal cell is oxyntic cells. Okay, they are the epithelial cells that secrete hydrochloric acid and intrinsic factor into the stomach's gastric gland. They secrete HCl. Leydig cells are present in ovary, prostate, mammary gland, or testis. Leydig cells. Uh, Good. They are also called interstitial cells and they are present in testis. Primary function is to synthesize and secrete androgens or male sex hormones. Particularly, testosterone is produced from Leydig cells, which is essential for male reproductive development and function. Amacrine cells are present in dash, ovary, mammary gland, eye, and ear. Amacrine. Eye. So specifically, they are present in the retina of the eye. These are interneurons that integrate and modulate signal between bipolar cells and ganglion cells, which are part of the complex visual processing circulatory. Remember when we learned about vision, special senses of neural system. That time we have learned bipolar cells, amacrine cells. So amacrine cells are present close to retina. Red blood cell formation is orchestrated by following enzyme: acetylcholine esterase, lipoxygenase, alcohol dehydrogenase, gyrase. Because why lipoxygenase? RBC's main function is to carry oxygen, right? So in order to carry oxygen, they have a pigment called hemoglobin. So, and they doesn't have most of the cell organelles because they are evolved or adapted in such a way that most of the organelles are not there and the entire space is attributed for containing hemoglobin. So everything, every organelles was there when it just formed. That time, lipoxygenase came and dissolved all other cell organelles, and that's how hemoglobin came and filled it. Like RBC, there is in our eyes, lens is also formed like the activity of from the activity of lipoxygenase. So correct answer is two. Posterior pituitary secretes dash prolactin, insulin, growth hormone, vasopressin. It is about posterior. Posterior pituitary. Correct answer is vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone. ADH or vasopressin. Remember when we talked about RAA, renin-angiotensin aldosterone system, the multiple activity of RAA, one activity is to regulate ADH also. So ADH is the vasopressin that is stored in posterior pituitary. Okay, here. So this is the anterior pituitary and this is the posterior pituitary. In posterior pituitary, it's not synthesized there. It is synthesized from hypothalamus only, but it is stored in posterior pituitary. So oxytocin and both antidiuretic hormone or antidiuretic hormones, one another name is vasopressin. Last question. Ryanodine receptor and DHPR, dihydropyridine receptors, regulate dash channels. Sodium, potassium, chloride, or calcium. This we have started learning from second week onwards in the skeletal system, then in the neural system. Calcium, they are calcium channels. Okay, correct answer is calcium. Hmm. Yeah, that about today. Means last class. Now I will take one more last session where I just takes on goes through all the main important questions from all the weeks and will rewinding the lessons we have learned. So you will get the mail when will be the class regarding that details. That's what I said. I don't know. I am no one to say, like I don't have the control of that. You have to write it to NPTEL people. You have to write a mail to NPTEL people asking this. I don't know. They are the people who is arranging exams. That's what I said. You send a mail to them and ask. Okay, let's see. Yeah, and I cannot help you in this because they are the one who deciding. The- you can write again every year this animal physiology. Yeah, that is depending on your school and college only, right? If college considers this as important, then it must be. I have don't know about the policies. About exam policy also is NPTEL people. So please write to them. Uh, okay, then you write it to NPTEL people. I cannot help you with this. Okay. Yeah. Bye bye. Take care.